I'm Claire Aebersold, and this is my husband, Ralph Neiweem.
Claire and I are piano duo in residence here at Music Institute of Chicago. We're also the founders and artistic directors of the Chicago Duo Piano Festival.
The Chicago Duo Piano Festival is a lot of fun. It's having everybody who's a pianist get together, which is usually a very lonely life, and be able to perform this wonderful repertoire. So we have the teaching and performing, which is the most important of all. Ralph and I like to also perform, and we have our guest teams coming in from all over the world and the country, and we have a beautiful faculty extravaganza every year with our faculty teaming up together, and we also have commissioning of new works.
We've also sponsored some duo piano competitions, both international, where we've had duos come in from all over the world, and more local, where we have student duos from Chicago competing. When we play at two pianos, we are duo pianists, or we're a piano duo. When we play at one piano, we are playing piano four hands, or piano duet, and we're known as piano duetists, or piano four-hand players. The person playing the bass is called secondo, the person playing the treble, and this is at one piano, is called the primo. When we're talking about communicating as a piano duo, there's one piano versus two pianos. So let's start with one piano. We need to look at each other's wrists, and we need to listen for each other's breathing. So that makes it's actually rather easy. We have our hands on the keyboard, and there it is. You probably couldn't hear my breath, but I gave a noticeable little breath as I did the signal for the pickup. Now at two pianos, we're across a void.
Yes,
and we
a
don't
huge
have
space.
the advantage of seeing each other's hands, so we have to communicate with our heads, right? So there's a head nod that we need to use to get started. So it's more of a distinct nod from the head to get started together. Sometimes the secondo might start with a little accompanimental figure, and then the primo comes in with a melody, and you don't even have an issue with starting together.
It's very seamless.
Yeah.
Pianists should give duo piano a try because it's much less lonely. I mean, you're sitting in a practice room all by yourself, usually with your solo repertoire, but then all of a sudden there's this vast and beautiful repertoire that you can discover.
It's a social thing, it's a fun thing, it's a voyage of discovery about how to play better at your own instrument together with somebody else who is struggling with the same issues.
And friendships develop that are really lifelong, which has been one of the greatest thrills of the Duo Piano Festival.
At first we were soloists, and we thought, hey, this is kind of lonely. Why aren't we trying to play some of this wonderful duo piano repertoire? We love Schubert, we love Mozart, and they wrote so many great duets. So that's how it started for us. And that's what we recommend for pianists.
Some of the tips for forming a duo is obviously to really like your partner, to have a lot in common, and to really see eye to eye with how you rehearse and have a lot of time for rehearsals. That's why over the years so many teams have been brothers, sisters, husbands and wives, friends who live close together who can rehearse a lot. And you know, you have to really learn over time your techniques of breathing and phrasing together and how to really become one at the piano.
That's the idea. It's something that doesn't happen overnight. It's through a lot of repertoire study and discussing and feeling that this journey of discovery is going with someone who you really like. Now, of course, you can also just have a good friend and get together and learn and play duos. And if that weren't the case, we wouldn't have our festival, because
That's right.
people who take our festival, they're doing it mostly for the first time. We have many who come back for more, which is really great. But so many are learning the techniques for the first time and discovering what it is that they need to do to get better at it. And I think they all find that it's a question of rehearsal, and it's a question of being open to discuss with each other, learning rehearsal techniques that are conducive to producing really good ensemble results. In the professional world of duo piano, we have many instances of duos, such as Claire and myself, who play exclusively with each other and have for our whole careers. However, we have wonderfully successful piano duos who are just soloists who get together and play concerts. To name a few famous examples would be Marie Pariah and Radu Lupu, or Emmanuel Axe and Neiweem Bronfman, etc.
Art Argridge,
Yeah,
all of her
and
friends.
all of her friends.
Sure.
So there's no hard and fast rule about that. It's just that there are things that everybody needs to do when they play together, and you need to, and that's what I mentioned, hooking back to what we talked about earlier, how we learn so much about our own instrument, the sound of our instrument, the techniques of our own instrument. Listening is the big thing, listening to each other. There's no better way to learn how to listen to your sound at the piano than by doing it with somebody else.
That's right.